they actually threaten the press to not talk about that? Blake Lively has had a history of being with her co-stars. Maybe she was trying to hook up with Justin or use that, because it does seem to be something that she's done before.
Girl, if Blake Lively thought she could keep the press under control, she just made the biggest mistake of her career.
But it is hard when it's in the public eye and people have questions and they're seeing a fuzzy timeline.
After years of carefully managing her perfect image, insiders are now exposing that Blake allegedly threatened journalists to bury the truth about her scandals. And when that news got out, she completely spiraled.
Because I don't trust you, Blake. I do not trust you. You have lied too much. You have fudged truths. You are trying to hide so much information that you are like your character in a simple favor, and I can't unsee it.
For years, Blake sold herself as Hollywood's golden girl, the effortlessly charming, scandal-free actress with the perfect career, perfect marriage, and perfect reputation. But now, that entire illusion is falling apart. The press is digging into her past, and what they're finding, it's exposing a side of Blake that nobody was supposed to see. Because girl, the internet never forgets. And now that people are putting the pieces together, Blake is scrambling to do damage control. But instead of fixing things, she's making it so much worse.
It doesn't sound like it does sound like she's over-exaggerating.
Insiders are saying Blake has been going to extreme lengths to control the media narrative, but this time, it's backfiring hard. Reports claim that she's been pressuring journalists, blocking certain stories, and even making legal threats to try and keep her past relationships, career moves, and personal scandals from resurfacing. But girl, you can't threaten the press and expect them to stay silent. If anything, that just makes them dig deeper. And now, they're finding things that Blake never wanted the public to know, because let's be real, Blake has always been calculated about her image. Every relationship, every media appearance, every interview, all carefully crafted to make her look untouchable. But now, with her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni already turning into a PR disaster, she's desperately trying to keep control. And what's happening instead? She's losing it.
Now you're complaining about privacy? Oh, this is such an important private matter. You were on Saturday Night Live letting your husband make a mockery of your whole thing. Oh, is there something that's going on? Yeah, there's something going on, and you shouldn't have been there.
One of the biggest things the press is uncovering, the real story behind her relationship with Ryan Reynolds. Blake sold the public a fairy tale romance, the perfect love story where she and Ryan fell in love naturally, built a beautiful family, and became Hollywood's ultimate power couple. But now, people are starting to realize there are a lot of holes in that story. Because girl, when Blake and Ryan got together, Ryan was still married to Scarlett Johansson. And Blake? She was still publicly dating Penn Badgley. Now the internet is putting the timeline together, and it's not looking good. It turns out that what Blake sold as a romantic love story might have actually been a messy, behind-the-scenes affair. And now that people are questioning it, Blake is panicking because this isn't just some random internet gossip. Major journalists are now digging into the story, and if they find receipts, that could completely destroy the image she spent years protecting.
They met on Green Lantern, but during that phase of Green Lantern, which was, I guess, back in 2009, was when they were shooting this, or 2010, filming was March to August 2010, Ryan was married to Scarlett Johansson.
If you thought Blake was the only one panicking, think again. Her PR team is scrambling behind the scenes, trying to stop the story from spreading. But girl, it's too late. At first, they tried shutting down negative press, but when that didn't work, they started flooding the media with positive Blake stories. But guess what? Nobody is buying it. The internet is too smart to fall for fake distractions, and every time Blake tries to redirect attention, it just makes people dig deeper. Now, not only is her marriage being questioned, but her entire Hollywood career is under a microscope, and girl, it's not looking good.
He was with Scarlett Johansson, and Blake was in a long-term relationship with Gossip Girl, Penn Badgley, right, Kim?
Insiders say Blake is furious that the press is turning against her. She's used to being protected, but now that journalists are finally reporting on her scandals, she doesn't know what to do. Instead of staying calm and collected, sources claim she's lashing out behind the scenes, making calls, and trying to intimidate people into silence. But here's the thing. That's exactly what's making this worse. Because in Hollywood, nobody likes a desperate celebrity. The more Blake fights the press, the more obvious it becomes that she has something to hide. And now, girl, even her closest allies are backing away.
So there's two different narratives, but specifically what Ryan and Blake's narrative is They both were not in relationships. When they did get together, it was after the filming of Green Lantern.
Blake's scandals are already spiraling out of control. But the real nightmare for her, the fact that Hollywood is starting to distance itself, big brands, industry insiders, and even her own A-list friends are staying silent. Because in Hollywood, when someone stops being profitable, they get replaced. And if Blake thought she was too powerful to lose it all, girl, she might be about to learn the hard way.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds hooked up when Ryan Reynolds was still married to ScarJo and holed up in a NOLA hotel room during the Green Lantern. Us Weekly had discovered this, and their beauty editor would tell us this at events and about how Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's team's threats squashed the story.
Girl, Blake thought she could silence the press and walk away with her Golden Girl image intact, but Hollywood isn't playing along anymore. Instead of controlling the media like she always has, she just made the worst move possible. She got aggressive. Insiders are now revealing that Blake didn't just call up a few journalists to ask them to take it easy on her. She went full damage control mode, allegedly threatening reporters, demanding stories be pulled, and trying to block outlets from covering her scandals. And girl, that never works, because the second a celebrity starts threatening the press, that's when things really start unraveling. If Blake thought the media would back down, she was delusional. If anything, now they're going even harder.
Is this possible?
Blake's entire PR strategy just backfired in the worst way. Instead of making her scandals disappear, her aggressive tactics just pushed journalists to start digging even deeper. And girl, what they're finding, it's not looking good. Major outlets are now investigating her past, going through old interviews, resurfacing rumors, and exposing details about how Blake really built her career. And the biggest shock? People are starting to realize that Blake might have been manipulating the media for years. Think about it. She's always been in the right headlines, at the right events, saying the right things. But now, it's looking like that was all carefully controlled. And now that she can't control the narrative anymore, the truth is starting to spill out.
Employees and agents that are all speaking with press outlets directly, trying to make sure there's good stories about their client, or blocking potential stories about their client.
This is where things get really bad for Blake. It's one thing for the press to turn on you, but once Hollywood stops defending you, that's career ending. Blake used to be surrounded by A-list besties, always rubbing shoulders with the most powerful women in the industry. But now, where are they? Taylor Swift? Gone. Anna Wintour? Nowhere to be found. The elite fashion brands that once threw custom designer gowns at her? Silent. And girl, when your industry friends stop picking up the phone, that's when you know you're in serious trouble. Because in Hollywood, loyalty is a business decision. And right now, Blake Lively is officially bad for business.
Because of PR, and I think that's part of why this whole Justin Baldoni story is so fascinating. It's just because people are really getting a behind-the-scenes look at the reality of PR.
Now let's talk about Ryan Reynolds, because if there's one person who could have saved Blake's reputation, it's him. Ryan and Blake have spent years selling their perfect marriage to the public. They built a brand around their relationship, turning their flirty social media posts into a whole business strategy. But now, Ryan is suspiciously quiet. No jokes, no damage control, not a single word of support. And girl, that silence says everything. Hollywood insiders are already whispering that Ryan is weighing his options. He knows that if he stands too close to Blake while she's losing credibility, she might take him down with her. And let's be real, Ryan is a businessman first. If staying with Blake hurts his career, he won't think twice before distancing himself. And girl, if Ryan walks away, that's it. That's the final nail in the coffin.
And she's clearly happier and moved on with Colin Jost here. But just odd now that it's all come around with Ryan showing up to her new husband's place of work to crack jokes about his current wife's SH allegations. Hey, you just can't make this stuff up, Kim.
Let's be honest. People aren't stupid. Blake's PR team has been working overtime trying to redirect the narrative. They're pushing positive stories, leaking that Blake is focusing on family, and even reaching out to media outlets to try and spin this disaster. But girl, it's not working. The internet is already against her, and fans are seeing through the lies. Instead of falling for the PR distractions, people are questioning everything. Was her relationship with Ryan real, or was it just a PR stunt? Has she been manipulating the media this whole time? And most importantly, if she's willing to threaten journalists, what else is she hiding? Blake thought she could bully the press into staying quiet, but all she did was make things 100 times worse.
Where she did specifically reflect on her relationship with Reynolds. And I mean, props to her for keeping it classy and keeping things private. You know, like, I think she did an incredible job with that, maneuvering this. This was such a big deal.
At this point, Blake has no good options left. If she keeps fighting the press, they'll only dig deeper. If she tries to disappear, she looks guilty. If she tries to spin the story, people will see right through it. And now, Hollywood is deciding whether or not to blacklist her completely. Because girl, this isn't just one bad headline anymore. This is an entire career falling apart in real time. And at this point, there might not be anything left to save.
If we really go through it, Blake Lively has had a history of being with her co-stars.
It's true.
That's what's being alleged here.
Blake Lively thought she could control the media, but now the media is turning on her. And just when you thought things couldn't get worse, she's now facing a lawsuit herself. Blake has been accused of going to extreme lengths to keep her version of the story alive. But now, she's being sued for allegedly causing millions of dollars in reputational damage to a major PR firm that got caught in the middle of her war with Justin Baldoni. And if a PR firm, the people who literally manage scandals for a living, is suing you, that's bad. This means that behind the scenes, even Hollywood's damage control experts don't want to be associated with her anymore. And if Blake loses this lawsuit, that could mean serious financial and industry consequences.
Between, obviously, as we know, with Penn Badgley, Ryan Reynolds.
As if Blake wasn't in enough trouble, Hollywood is now raising eyebrows about how she even got the damaging texts that exposed Justin Baldoni. When these texts first leaked, everyone assumed they were just standard legal evidence. But now, people are questioning how she even got access to them in the first place. Some insiders believe she got them through unethical means, possibly by digging through conversations that weren't meant for her. And girl, if that's true, this legal case just got even messier, because if the court finds out that Blake obtained evidence in a shady way, that could completely discredit her case and even open up new legal trouble for her.
There was talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. Here's the sort of the dating histories go. Leonardo DiCaprio, the rumors were that Blake Lively was up for The Great Gatsby and then hooked up with Leo, but then didn't ultimately get the part and then didn't stay with Leo, is what the rumors are.
Now, this is where things get really crazy. Reports are saying that Blake hired a former CIA official to help control the media narrative around her case. Girl, that's not normal Hollywood crisis management. That's next-level damage control. Think about it. Why would she need intelligence-level help just to handle a lawsuit? What is she so desperate to keep hidden? This move proves that Blake isn't just fighting a legal battle. She's fighting to protect secrets that could completely destroy her. And if people weren't suspicious before, they definitely are now.
Was she with Ryan Gosling? That's, I guess she was in the movie with him.
A few dates. Spotted on a few.
Allegedly. I mean, who wouldn't want to go on a few dates with him? Penn, but yeah, and then this, yes. They were in Sister of the Traveling Pants.
Blake wanted this case to be about justice, but girl, even the judge isn't buying it. A judge recently called out Blake's legal team, saying this case isn't even about the truth anymore. It's about PR manipulation. And when a judge says that on record, that's career ending. Because now, instead of looking like a victim fighting for justice, Blake looks like a Hollywood actress trying to control the media to save her reputation. And girl, nobody in Hollywood likes that.
So there's multiple people here that she seemingly does. And I'm not throwing shade, it isn't the business. It sets a potential precedent that, yeah. And it's why a lot of us during the It Ends With Us story, like, maybe she was trying to hook up with Justin or use that, because it does seem to be something that she's done before.
If Blake had any hope of recovering, it was Hollywood backing her up. But now, she's out of allies. Big names who once stood by her side are now staying silent. Her PR team is struggling to keep up with the constant scandals. And brands that used to line up to work with her, they're gone. Blake's team has tried everything to fix her reputation, pushing positive press stories, shifting the blame, and even using legal threats to silence bad press. But girl, nothing is working, because at the end of the day, the industry is moving on, and Blake might not be able to stop it.
A Reddit thread from a Colleen Hoover fan group that was written 6 months ago is going viral today, because in it, an insider who spoke to somebody who worked on the movie predicted a lot of the stuff that ended up happening.
At this point, it's no longer just about losing a lawsuit. Blake is losing credibility, power, and now even her Hollywood status. The press isn't scared of her anymore. The industry isn't protecting her anymore. And once you lose control, in Hollywood, you don't get it back. The PR firm suing her, that's a major red flag. The judge calling out her legal strategy, that's a death sentence for her credibility. The rumors about how she got those texts, that's a scandal waiting to explode. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to me, and ring the bell so you'll be the first to get notified about the newest drama.